I know we are still in shock and just flabbergasted at when Zendaya said the one line that changed everyone's face in the theater. My friends call me MJ. At first, you would think there's no way that she's Mary Jane. How? She acts nothing like Mary Jane. But before we even begin, it's important to mention that there's a tiger running past in the school hallway right before she mentions that line. Think about it. A random person in a tiger costume was just a coincidence before that line? I think not. This may be indeed a reference to a famous line. Face it, tiger, you just hit the jackpot. But the question is she Mary Jane? The short answer is no. But that's not the whole story. Listen to this, guys. She won't be playing Mary Jane, but she will be very, very similar to the Mary Jane Watson that we know.
What are you hiding, Peter?
But to discover those characteristics, we're gonna have to wait for the future. Ooh, I still was not expecting that line. But let's get back on point. This MJ is a different character. She is simply Michelle Jones, a completely new spin on the character. This may not be Mary Jane, but since the nickname MJ has been taken, there's a low chance they'll bring the redhead Mary Jane into the picture, due to confusion. Since the beginning, I believe Marvel has been planning on making this new Spider-Man universe different, thinking everyone is tired of the typical Mary Jane Gwen Stacy couple that was bound to come. So Marvel switched it up. This movie is all about diversity, so why not change? When Kevin Feige was asked about whether or not Zendaya was Mary Jane, he had to say this. Setting up, this will be a very different thing. She's not Mary Jane Watson. That's not who the character is. But giving her the initials that remind you of that dynamic certainly is intriguing about what could go forward. Anyways, they want to mimic that interaction in what Mary Jane and Peter Parker had. Not mimicking the Mary Jane character, but creating a new dynamic so it would be its own thing, reminding you of what Mary Jane and Peter Parker had. First things first, I want to ask the obvious question. Did you guys notice MJ's characteristics in the movie? She was quiet. She was trying to turn off her feelings, right? Saying whatever comes to mind, not caring what anyone else thinks. Before I get started on my point, I want to point out that she is not Mary Jane. She is a similar character to Mary Jane Watson.
You're taller than you look.
That being said, Mary Jane Watson lived in an abusive household in the comics. She was born to Philip and Madeline Watson. Alright, listen to this. Call me crazy, alright? But, I believe that this is an alternate take of Mary Jane on her response to being a victim of abuse. As in the previous Spider-Man, we saw Mary Jane get abused, but at the end of the day, it didn't really affect her, or it did, we just didn't really explore that factor.
Great
Look,
reflexes.
she was still outgoing and wanted to fulfill her goals.
No problem.
This new take on the character will be
Hey,
exploring
blue
that type
eyes.
of abuse that it had on
didn't
her,
notice
maybe,
Peter Parker.
that the other has
Marching
not
band vibes, huh?
experienced. Because clearly,
I'm not obsessed with him, just very observant.
yeah.
Why are you here? You don't even have detention.
I know, I just like coming here to sketch people in crisis.
It's you.
Again, she is not Mary Jane. She is Michelle Jones. The initials were just to remind you of that dynamic.